Improved intensity, better second halves, in-game proactive changes and fearless decisions. These are just a few of the things that Enzo Maresca has done to completely transform Chelsea Football Club. And in this video, we are going to speak about everything good that is going on at Chelsea Football Club at this moment in time. And how could I not speak about everything good at Chelsea and in the world in general without being joined by the big dog, Channel fan favourite, Josh Aveste. Josh, what's happening, mate? How's it going?
It's good to be here. Yeah, I had a great time at Stamford Bridge. Missed you. You know, where were you?
I missed you.
Why weren't you there?
You know I wasn't there. Should we just tell them? And I sound like I don't want to keep telling people because it sounds like I'm like begging for a sob story here. Yeah. But
you are good at sob stories, to be fair.
Oh mate, do you know what? I'm still getting over the death of my hamster. Honestly.
If you went on Married at First Sight, you would be so good at the sob story.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, you could come
2004. Hard time for me. Lost a hamster. I had him for about 4 months.
What was his name?
Fred.
Fred the hamster.
Fred, yeah. I had a hamster. I named it Fred.
Yeah.
I forgot to feed it. Now it's dead. So
we won't tell the RSPCA. Luckily, the statute of limitation is
funny
gone.
enough, Josh. I don't think the RSPCA are watching this.
Maybe
Also,
they should be.
I just want to give a quick advisory. I am on antibiotics for this whole jaw problem I've got going on. It was a boxing-related injury. Before anyone tries to get in the comments and make any funny comments, yeah.
I'm sorry that I did it. You know,
yeah.
It was a really good hook that I landed.
It was a great hook.
It was clean.
Yeah.
It was a clean punch.
Yeah, it was
one of my best hooks that I've ever landed, actually.
One of your best hookers.
Yeah, I've always said that about you. I've always said that about you. One of my favourite hookers.
Just so I can talk a little bit more normally, and also, like, we've done the kickoff this morning as well. If you want instant reaction to the Ten Hag sacking...
Wait, he's been sacked?
Oh, he's been sacked. And do you know what that means, Josh?
We've got to play them with a new manager.
Yeah, so that is fucking annoying, and we're going to speak about that. But do you know what it means?
We're still going to do him.
Do you know what it means?
Go on.
It means that he won the sack race, which means that Erik Ten Hag has won 3 things in 3 seasons.
He just wins trophies.
He's a winner.
He really does.
He's a winner.
Yeah, always back him.
There you go.
Maybe they'll rehire him when they realise the error of their ways.
I am absolutely gutted that Ten Hag has been sacked. I think every football fan around the country, barring the Man United fans, will share that same feeling.
Who's been more battered, Erik Ten Hag or your jaw?
Probably that Lily Phillips girl.
Don't look her up.
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
Yeah, but if you do, Josh can send you some links. By the way, this is the Joey Knight podcast. If you're not already, please subscribe. I was asking you lot to subscribe to reach 100,000 subscribers. And do you know what you did? You absolutely smashed the life out of it. But now the subscriber count's dropping. And do you know what I've been doing?
Go on.
I've been doing a bit of detective work, mate.
Okay, what's the data saying? Tell me.
The data's saying that there's like 50% of the watchers that aren't subscribed to the channel.
They should be embarrassed.
They should. If that was me, I would check myself into the Priory because you've got something. You've got saying.
If you want to join the community of all communities, the elite crew, we don't do pyramid schemes here. We don't do investment clubs. All we just do is pure, unadulterated...
raw dogging.
Banter.
Yeah.
And if you want to join the hardcore, it's free to do so.
Anyone's invited. If you want to join the hardcore, you can join the hardcore. Yeah. But you can't fucking do it if you're not subscribed, mate. Yeah. The hardcore are subscribed. And how do we feel about the hardcore?
I love the hardcore.
We fucking love it hardcore.
I love it hardcore, and I love the hardcore.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
What is your favourite sex position?
Sex position?
Yeah.
How far into the video are we? I don't want to get demonetised. Would that get me demonetised?
Fuck knows. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares at this point? Favourite...
Because you know my banter was... I got loads of banter about Doggy. It's not even my favourite.
Is Doggy not your favourite?
No, but apparently, according to the questions that we asked each other...
What is it?
Starfishing.
Starfishing? What is that?
Just use your imagination, mate.
Really?
Just use your imagination.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. So I just
You're just speechless.
I'm probably a her on top man.
Yeah.
Because then
Reverse or conventional?
conventional, but ideally with a mirror in the background so I can see the bum at the same time.
I thought you were going to say a mirror on her back.
No, because
so that you can have a look
then
at
I can
yourself.
see the goods up front,
Yeah.
but I can also see
The good at the back.
yeah, what's packing on the shelf
Okay,
on the back.
congratulations.
Anyway, this is a Chelsea podcast, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Enzo
Cheers to
Maresca.
that.
Let's quickly just get your thoughts on yesterday's game, because obviously I did my post-match review. If you want to see that, hit the link in the description. It probably won't be in the description. I probably won't have time to do it. So just find it. It'll be the last video on the channel. But if not, Josh, I want your thoughts. You were in the stands.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great about Chelsea right now, I have to say. That was a tough game, wasn't it? You know, Newcastle, although they haven't played incredibly well this season, I think we can all agree that.
But they're still Newcastle.
They're still Newcastle. They've got some good players. They had their starting midfield up. They didn't have all of their front line. And I have to say, I was pretty surprised about how weak their defence was. And perhaps that is the tail of the tape, as it were, with this match. But I have to say, the way that we're playing football at the moment, the way that we're passing it in between some of those boys, the team selections, the coaching, the man management of the manager, the individual performances that we're seeing, like young players coming up and actually sort of putting in, I would say, performances of men. If you actually look at it, you know, Cole Palmer, really young player still. Nicholas Jackson, still really young player. Lavia, still super young. You know, so many of these individuals, which we'll get into in this podcast. But I have to say, as much as we've had a lot of negativity, and as much as there still have been results that you question, you know, the Liverpool result, the Man City result, perhaps if we're progressing and we want to get into the top four, we want to be getting at least the draws out of those games. But saying that, all of the other games so far, barring perhaps the Crystal Palace game, I think we've looked exceptional. And I'm really excited. When I watch Chelsea play now, I go into it with optimism, whereas the last few years, it's not really felt like that, has it?
And do you know what it is, right? It's funny because you say about the way we're playing, but the elephant in the room here is we've spent a lot of money. And when you spend a lot of money and you bring in all this young talent, then realistically at some point talent needs to arrive.
It's got to click.
And you do need to start playing some really stylish football. The patterns of play that we're now seeing, we are now seeing boys that have played together for now, realistically, at the absolute most, say you're a Noni Madueke, right? Yeah. Then you might be looking at Enzo Fernandez and you're into your second season together. But for the most part, these boys have been playing together for a season or so, right? Yeah. They look like they've been playing together for 5 or 6 seasons, to be honest, because the telepathy that a lot of it, let's be honest, comes from Cole Palmer is there. But you know what's impressed me even more? Because we 100% expected the level of talent that we've seen from this team. When we brought these players in, we knew that we were bringing in some magic, let's be honest. But talent is one thing, and mentality is a completely different thing. Yeah. And Enzo Maresca has got to have credit for changing the mentality of this team. And I listed some of the things, but do you know one of the most impressive things?
Come.
Second halves.
Yeah.
Second halves, we come out and we go for it. And do you know what else I'm impressed by? You know, like, we almost had a Southgate's England-like trait about us last season when we'd get that first goal. And I'm not saying every match. I understand there were matches where we scored multiple goals, where we went for it, especially towards the end of the season. Now, there's 2 lines of thought. You can credit Pochettino for that. You can credit the fact that now the team has had time to gel together, and maybe under any decent coach it was always going to happen. And I think the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Yeah. But what I would say is the mentality now is like, we score a goal, we want another. Yeah. The second half starts, we want to get at them straight away. The first half starts, we want to get at them straight away. And that is not something that we were seeing in the past from this Chelsea side that had more or less at least 7 or 8 of the same players in the side.
We looked nervous, didn't we?
We did.
I think we came out of the halftime team talk sometimes, and we were a little bit worried about what to expect from the team. Whereas now, like, we're coming off those team talks, and we're just thinking, you do think, I'm worried about what's going to happen for the other team. I'm worried about how these boys are going to come out. And ultimately, you do have to credit the manager.
I'm not worried at all. I couldn't give a fuck what happens to them.
Yeah, fuck them.
Unless it's Newcastle, because we do like Newcastle.
Second team.
I don't like the phrase second team because it's a bit like, but like
You like Newcastle, mate.
I just like the Geordies.
You like the Geordies. You like a night out in Newcastle, and you love Tuk Tuk.
Tuk Tuk's closed.
What is it called now?
No, it's just closed. I was up there.
You're joking.
I was there for the fight. Tuk Tuk's closed.
You're joking.
Tuk Tuk's closed. Yeah.
You love Gary.
I love.
You love Holly.
Dazzy Short. No, I don't love Holly.
You love Holly. You don't shut up. He doesn't shut up about Holly.
He's talking shit.
Marnie.
I'd have had a bit.
You loved James.
The hardest graft I've ever done is doing my hair.
Yeah, why was he Irish? You can't laugh. Joey cannot laugh.
Do you know this podcast from a medical point of view?
It's a very bad idea.
This podcast, not even this podcast. Seeing you. Yeah. Is probably medically the worst thing because it's good for my soul, but it's bad for my health because you know the thing that hurts the most? Laughing absolutely kills. I know.
Because we're going to be laughing quite a lot in this podcast, mate. I'm sorry about that.
I know. To get back onto Chelsea, because listen, what we're going to do, it went down a storm last time with the hardcore, so we're going to do the same thing this time round, and in the last 10 minutes or so, we're going to answer some of your questions, right? A lot of the questions that were sent in were just things that we were going to cover, like, say, for example, thoughts on Reece James at left back and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and go with the more unconventional ones, the more raunchy ones, maybe.
You have to stick around to the end to hear about those.
Something I love about Enzo Maresca is fearless decisions. These are the sort of decisions, when you look at a man who was sacked today, not that I'm happy about it, not that I predicted it, not that there's a video on my channel that you can look back at and say that Ten Hag will be gone by Christmas and Ruud van Nistelrooy will be the Man United manager, but we don't want to speak about that, do we?
We don't.
Because we don't like to blow our own trumpets.
I mean, we don't need to speak about Man United anymore. We've done a whole video on it today. Two videos, actually.
There you go, on the kickoff, linked in the description. But what I would say is the second Sterling made those comments, right? And they came out on the eve or the day or whatever it is of the opening day of the season against Man City. He was pretty much out the door.
What a moment that was. Can we just have a little moment in time, go back into this, and say I was sat, by the way, in a pub before the game started, and I was expecting Raheem Sterling to be in the lineup.
I was, because he had been smashing it in pre-season.
He had. And so we were sat there expecting the team sheets to come out. Raheem Sterling not only isn't on the team sheet, he isn't in the subs. And then, mysteriously, there is an agent's statement that comes out that says what? That he didn't want to be at the club. That he felt like he was forced out.
More or less, and that he'd be looking for a move away.
And that just tells you everything about Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca had said to him.
But then egg on Maresca's face, because look how well it's gone for Sterling.
I mean, to be fair, right, we're being sarcastic here, but can we just have a moment on how shit he's been at Arsenal?
Is shit harsh?
I mean, yes. He didn't get in the starting 11 against Liverpool, even though they barely had any wingers. And they're playing Saka, who's basically 40% fit, over him. And then I don't even think he came on. I think they chose Ethan Ninieri. Ninieri? Can't even pronounce his name, sorry.
Claudio Ranieri?
Yeah, Claudio Ranieri.
Yeah.
He didn't even he got on in front of Raheem Sterling, who's meant to be the elder statesman.
It's not going
250
well
grand
for
a week.
Him, man. It's not going well.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good for us because we're going to still depreciating in value by the day.
He's going to be ending up in MLS next year.
That'd be nice though. We were out in LA.
You'd have a great time out there. There's nothing wrong with going to play football in America. Go and do it. Go and enjoy it.
Nothing wrong with it.
He'll have a great time.
Nothing wrong with it. Either way, that was pretty ruthless straight away from Enzo Maresca. And there was parts of the fan base, probably not including us, that were sort of looking at that and thinking, oh, not too sure, because the whole disciplinarian tactics, they came back to bite Ten Hag in the arse when the guys that he had tried to almost cast to the side were the guys that he ended up needing, you know?
Yeah.
When Ten Hag very much made a statement by taking the captaincy off Harry Maguire and said that he's free to leave the club, and they accepted a bid from West Ham, I don't think that he felt that 2 years on from that, or however long it was, that he'd be starting a centre-back pairing of Harry Maguire and Johnny Phillips. And Johnny Evans,
Great
yeah?
boxer.
So, life comes at you fast, right? How the fuck do you know Johnny Phillips is a boxer?
I just knew if you were going to make a mistake, that was going to be a boxer.
That is mad that you know that
didn't
Johnny
know who he
Phillips
was,
is a
though.
boxer.
No, I don't know who he
He's
was.
just a guy that used to box on the same shows as me.
Did
that's,
he?
That's mad.
And that's why
yeah.
you've dropped him in there.
He knocked out Eubank's son.
Can we talk about a brief interlude to just say that you have bought the PS5?
Oh, I
you
bought the
have-
PS5. I've been
And you
playing
have
Undisputed.
been playing Undisputed.
Yeah.
And are you undisputed on the game?
No, I'm fucking shit. I mean, absolutely
Just to
pony.
clarify, I have also got the game.
Oh.
And I am undisputed.
And that means that you are, in real life, a better fighter than me. No, it's fucking fuming, yeah, because basically, like, I got a fine. I was travelling up to London for sparring, and whoever the mayor of London is, who's the mayor of London?
Sadiq Khan.
Yeah, well, fuck him. Because, basically... they've now just like they don't even let you know that there's certain things you can't go through, and it was just a tunnel that I had no idea
Oh, you
that I
went
can
through a
go
naughty
through.
tunnel, did you?
Oh yeah, and no, Josh, listen to this.
Go on.
Right?
6 points.
No points. How much do you think the fine was?
200 max.
It was £270, and it didn't even have a thing of, oh, if you pay this within thingy, you get 50% off. You know what I mean?
Shit.
A parking ticket, if
Yeah.
you pay it within a certain
Yeah,
amount
yeah,
of
it's
time,
half
it's like
price.
40 quid or something.
Yeah, it's half price.
£270, yeah?
Wow.
You should hang your head in shame because there's potholes everywhere. So clearly that £270 that you're fucking hitting people with parking fines with isn't going to doing up the roads. But do you pay when their cars have to go into repairs because your roads are filled with potholes? No, you don't. Skint people have to pay. Hang your head in shame.
Do you think Sadiq Khan has issued more fines, or do you think that Enzo Maresca has issued more fines?
Well, here we go, right? Because this is another thing
Did
that
you
I
like that?
like about Enzo. I mean, that was a great interlude.
Thank you.
This is another thing I like about Enzo Maresca, right?
Yeah.
He has made us somewhat of a nasty side all of a sudden. And as much as in the past 2 seasons you could say, yeah, Chelsea have a lot of talent and we have a lot of individual brilliance, what we didn't have was that nastiness about us. That pure Levi Colwell who just wants to grab someone and stick the nut on them. Do you know what I mean? And we've got a bit of that nastiness about us. Now, I really like it, yeah? Because I grew up in the days of Lampard and John Terry.
You grew up in
and
the days of Vinnie Jones, mate. You did.
yeah, there you go. Vinnie Jones, Dennis Wise. It's all about short but up for a fight.
He's done a great video, Dennis Wise, by the way. Have you seen that video about Chelsea? Always fantastic. I'll send it to you after.
I'll have a little watch.
The lads will have seen
But
it.
either way, Drogba,
Yeah,
Ivanovic, all these boys would fight to the death for one another. And at times, it didn't really necessarily seem like that. In fact, it seemed a far cry from that. They were arguing over who was fucking taking penalties and
know,
stuff
was
like
it
that.
good,
Do you
was
know
it?
what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I'm seeing not only that unity, but that ruggedness about us, that toughness. We have become a nasty team to play.
Yeah.
Can you give me, as much as I feel that that is a positive and I'm loving it, and I'm not saying that you're not loving it,
No,
but
I'm
as
loving it.
as a more methodical man than myself,
Yeah.
can you give me the downside
Well, I
of
suppose
it?
the downsides are the yellow cards and the suspensions. Like, let's talk about players missing via suspension. And the key ones we saw recently were against Liverpool. And we had both Cucurella and Wesley Fofana absent from that game. And we
Would
both know
we have won that match?
we both know that was consequential in terms of the match.
I'm
Now,
not.
there's an
I'm not
argument-
just saying it. I honestly believe that a draw at minimum is what we get out of that match if them two boys were playing.
I do think, and let's talk about it more later, but I do think there's a conversation now about centre-backs. And I think we've got to have that conversation soon.
Let's have it right now.
So I'll tell you what, I mean, look, I was sat there and do you remember very early on in that game against Newcastle, Wesley Fofana goes down, he holds his knee after what was a pretty heroic attempt of a challenge. Could have been a very bad challenge for us because it could have gone through and it could have been a red card potentially. But he gets the challenge, he gets a knock on his knee. It's a knee that's already strapped prior to the game even kicking off, which you're worried about.
Was it already strapped?
Well, he had K-tape on, which is sort of... K-tape isn't strapping, but it's sort of like muscular. It sort of protects the musculature.
Okay.
But then...
I thought you put the strap on, but you're obviously the expert on strap-ons.
On strap-on, yeah. Well, midway through the game, Wesley Fofana attached the strap-on.
Right, yeah, okay.
And then he carried on playing, which is a massive feat. I mean, congratulations to him. I don't think I could play a game with
Not with a strap-on.
No. And for anyone that isn't in the UK, doesn't know what a strap-on is,
don't Google it.
Don't Google it.
Fuck's sake.
But yeah, and that was also a really weird one, by the way, because he had to go off. Do you remember after we scored the goal, he had to go off and we were all saying, why is he off the pitch? Don't know if you saw that on TV. But basically, we score the goal. Fofana is on the pitch waiting to kick off, and then they send him off the pitch. And then Newcastle nearly scored from that because we went down to 10 men.
Do you know what? I feel like maybe... you know that girlfriend that got cheated on?
Yours or
probably by me?
Yeah.
Not.
Which girlfriend? Who are we talking about?
I'm not gonna name any names, but either way, yeah. Oh no, got cheated on in their past relationship, and then they get with you, and even though you're a good guy, they just fucking hell, mate. You put to the shots for a pint of milk.
How are you bringing this back to Wesley Fofana?
Listen, you put to the shots for a pint of milk, and they think you've gone and cheated on them. Yeah. What is that? Because PTSD, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. So do you not think that us as Chelsea fans just have PTSD now? Because like when Wesley Fofana went down, I'm like, oh no, fuck, an injury, whatever.
Meniscus.
If you just watch another game of football, players go down like that all the time.
Well, you say that
they're fine.
You say that, but he's been heavily strapped after that, which is not necessarily a good thing. And I tell you what, going back to my original point, if he gets injured, we're in trouble. Like, as much as you actually really like Tosin, don't you? But for me, I'm looking at him and I think, little bit gangly, does make a few mistakes. And I'm thinking, is he Champions League level centre-back? And the people that sit around me...
Oh my God, I've got to interrupt this. Breaking news.
They've hired a new manager at Man United. What is it? Wesley Fofana out? Is it to do with Chelsea? Is it to do with Chelsea?
It is to do with Chelsea, yeah. Fuck. It's also to do with Man United.
What?
I love this boy. No, I love this boy. I love this boy.
What is it? What is it?
Look at Jadon Sancho's Instagram story. Where's your camera? Let me put it on your camera.
Oh, higher. No, it's not going to focus. Let me hold it. Put it on your one.
Let me put it on my one.
Put it on your one. Over here. Here we go.
My one. Jadon Sancho has put a waving bye-bye hand with a bald head on his Instagram story.
Oh, that's so bad, isn't it?
Yeah, but
he hated him.
He's a fucking legend. I hope they don't.
Sancho
they better not come sniffing back now. Have they?
We have to. There's an obligation.
There's obligation.
I mean, there's an obligation. I mean,
no,
we don't know the contract. There could be a break in that.
No, don't even say it. So centre backs, right? So what are you suggesting? Because
I'm suggesting we need to go into the market.
Right. Okay.
Go on. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that I wouldn't mind seeing Viega playing at centre back.
I like that as an option. I think I would like to have Vega as the 5th centre-back.
What do you mean?
What I mean is I'd rather have 4 out-and-out proper centre-backs and then have Vega as the alternative sort of rogue option if someone gets injured or we're trying to do something a little bit different.
So you believe we need to go into the market for a centre-back?
I think we need to go into the market and sell 2 centre-backs. Mm-hmm. And then I think we need to go to the market and buy 2 more. I'd probably go Badiashile and Disasi.
Do you know what I'm going to say? And again, you shouldn't just do stuff on recency bias, but I think the last few times I've seen Buddy Shield, he's looked pretty good, you know.
He did come on and play okay the other day, didn't he?
I think he's looked pretty good.
Was that against Liverpool where he came on?
Yeah. But here's how I see it, right? Up top, we can go absolutely toe-to-toe with anyone.
Don't need Osman anymore.
We don't need Osman.
We actually don't need Osman.
Let's not say anything too bad about him, though, because
I love Osman.
I had a lot of stick before. Up top, we don't need anything. We can go toe-to-toe with anyone, best in the league, yeah? Just behind that, we can go toe-to-toe with anyone. Pivot, midfield, whatever you want to call it, we can go toe-to-toe with anyone. Inverted left-back or right-back, we can go toe-to-toe with anyone. However, the defence is somewhat shaky, yeah? It's somewhat vulnerable, and I do believe that something needs to change to make us more sturdy. But I'm not going to jump to the exact same conclusion that you are here, which is saying that we definitely need to go and sign someone, because I've used this before, this sort of analogy before, but towards the end of Lampard's reign, right, we were absolutely leaking goals.
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel comes in, no signings are made, all of a sudden he shores up that defence. So it could be a tactical change that miraculously all of a sudden makes us more organised, more resilient and more compact in the defence.
I'm going to ask you one question. The question is, if we had the ability to re-sign a certain centre-back that played in that Lampard era that is currently playing in Spain, would you re-sign him and play him over Wesley Fofana?
Yeah, of course I would. But how old is he now? 20?
He's not that old.
Is he not that old?
Not for a centre-back.
I don't... do you know what? I say how old is he? I don't care about age, mate.
Right, people, I just want to quickly take this opportunity to tell you about new partners of the channel, Squawka. When you're in the YouTube industry like I am, there is a certain type of service that you could very much do with having on your side, and that is the service that stops you making blunders. And when I'm preparing for some of my videos, I use the website Squawka to use the player comparison matrix, and that helps me get a better understanding of comparing the players that I'm talking about. For example, a lot of you guys know that for every Chelsea game, I put out my preferred starting lineup, and I do look into the underlying numbers of the players I'm picking and the players that I'm comparing, and that's where Squawka comes in. They offer the best player comparison matrix on the internet. The website is so efficient and so easy that even I can use it. For example, when I'm picking from Chelsea's 30 to 40 odd wingers that we've got at the club, I can very easily jump onto Squawka and see how their stats compare. But you don't need to be a YouTuber to need to use Squawka. You could use it for your bets when you're betting on first goal scorer and things like that. It could give you a better indication. Or you could just use it to look like a genius down the pub, and we all like to do that, don't we? So thank you very much to Squawka for not only helping me prepare for my videos, but also partnering up with the channel. So help support me by supporting the guys that support the channel in Squawka. They are linked in the description for this video. Let's get back into it.
Like, there's too much made of like, oh, you know, he's old, whatever, like... If he's 28, he's 28. By the way, we're talking about Rudiger, you know. Rudy. But
Miss
again...
him, by the way, I love Rudiger.
I loved Rudiger.
I would love to have him back.
And I don't think he would have wanted to have left, to be fair.
No. I think we could get him back.
Not from Real Madrid, not at the minute.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff changing at Real Madrid. They did just get beaten 4-0.
Okay. So, let's say, for example, I believe that we can stick with what we've got. I think we've got enough there and we can coach it in. Josh believes that maybe we'd need to go into the market to get one. But what I do know is that in Robert Sanchez, there is somewhat of a dilemma.
There's a problem.
There is a little bit of a problem. Now, we had back-to-back games against the likes of Bournemouth and against the likes of West Ham, where I'm going to be honest, I thought Robert Sanchez was really, really
I love
good.
that you packed him.
I thought that his distribution was very good. I thought he made some match-saving saves.
Penalty saves.
And obviously penalty saves as well. So at that point, I'd really started to think, do you know what? Maresca's getting a tune out of this fella, and Maresca has somehow coached the mistakes out of this man. Then came the game against Liverpool. No, sorry. Then came the game against Brighton, and he made multiple mistakes, right?
They were begging for him to stay in goal. they were laughing at him. They were singing songs about how shit he was.
There you go. Against Forest, I thought he actually made a few saves that kept us in, especially at the end.
He's a good I think we know he's good with
He's a good
hands.
shot stopper. He's a good shot stopper, but he's just not what we thought he was with his feet. And do you know, I'm going to read you a quote from Enzo Maresca right now, right? I asked Robert to do that.
Yep.
The moment he stops doing that, he is not going to play. It's not his mistake. It's my mistake. Fair enough. But surely he's not asking him to give away the ball 40% of the time when he does it.
I mean, I was talking about this in the first half about how many possessions that he'd given away, and we were discussing it and saying 30% would be generous, as in successful.
Yeah.
Successful passes, 30%. And when you're talking about a goalkeeper, what I respect about Maresca is he knows when to protect a player and he knows when to criticise a player. So, for example, he knows that Reece James is big enough and strong enough to take some criticism and be able to improve himself and develop from that. What I think he worries about with Sanchez, which is totally true, that not only are players like centre forwards subject to confidence issues, but a goalkeeper certainly is subject to it, especially in the modern game.
Mate, the mental fragility of being in that exact position can be the difference maker week in, week out.
It can, and we've seen Robert Sanchez make passes, give it directly to opposition players, and they'd be right in to score. The one that sticks out for me as one of the most egregious ones is the Declan Rice goal from last season. I mean, there are so many other examples.
Now, you know that Declan Rice goal for last season, I think I might have even said this in yesterday's video. By the way, sorry, my antibiotics are kicking in. I'm a little bit slurred. But
here we go.
I said this in yesterday's video. So the Declan Rice one, that goes down on the stats, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As in an error that directly leads to a goal. Now, this is the problem with Robert Sanchez. There's so many of these ones he makes that he miraculously gets away with, and therefore the error doesn't lead to a goal, and therefore it doesn't really go down on the stats in reflection to when you go on the best website in the world for player comparison matrix, which is obviously Squawker. When you go on that and you look at errors leading to goals, you go, oh, not too much difference between Sanchez and Petrovic or Sanchez and Jorgensen, but there is. It just doesn't always go on the stats. And that is why we love our stats, and we love them from one place and one place only, which is Squawker. But at the same time as that, stats can sometimes be misleading.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you are going to be misled by any stats, make sure you are misled by the stats off of the website. Squawker.
Best website in the world.
That is brilliant. They should really clip that up and just have that on there.
Just click the link.
Yeah, click the link. It's in the description right now. Big up the guys at Squawker. Love you lot. Clearly, Maresca sees something in.
I don't know if he does. I don't know if he does anymore.
Listen, mate.
I don't know if he does anymore.
So okay, well if he doesn't, then he thinks Jorgensen shit.
I think in the next. This is a prediction, and let's clip this moment up. I think in the next month, we will see Sanchez play for the B team.
Yeah, okay.
By the start of December, Sanchez will be playing in the Carabao Cup. You heard it here first. So what I would say, right, is I think Maresca's already shown himself to be no nonsense, hasn't he? Like, at the end of the day, he's dropped Enzo Fernandez, and now no one's not telling me that he's dropped Enzo Fernandez. He's dropped Enzo Fernandez, right? So I think he's shown himself to be no nonsense, and I think he's shown himself to be a manager that actually doesn't really care about the value you came in for and what wages you're on and whatever. He will play who he wants to play, and I think he's shown that already multiple times, even in the likes of like João Felix, who we've brought in, and the what's the word I want to use? Omnipresent?
No, not omnipresent. No, the I don't know. Basically, the feeling would be we brought him in, you better play him, sort of thing.
Oh, the perception.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's not actually that word, but the either way, like
I feel like we should do a dictionary corner every episode.
You are my dictionary because I don't know fuck all about anything. That's why me and you. Do you know why me and you get on so well?
Go on.
We are, and someone said this to me, we are completely different people. Yeah. Right. Would you agree with this, right? We are completely different people.
Yeah.
But we're actually the same.
Yeah. But how does that work?
I don't know. But it is like we're completely different.
I would never have done some of the things that you've done. Like I've never been in a fight.
No, I know. You've probably never been arrested, have you?
I've definitely never been arrested.
There you go.
I never really got any punishments at school.
Really?
I never really got in trouble.
Oh, mate, I've done some awful things.
I know you did. In fact, we'll do a whole episode on the Jerry and Josh podcast channel.
Coming soon.
Coming
People
soon.
get really annoyed. Should I just explain the
I
situation?
think you do need to talk about this.
Right. The situation is we at the moment record out of the podcast room in Barnes. Absolutely love the podcast room. And I was actually their first ever customer. So the fact that I was their first ever customer to come in here and then we've gone well over 100k and look what it's led to. I came in here to do a random podcast. I was having a few Coronas and whatnot. And now this is my full-time job and I'm living a crazy life. And big part of that goes down to this fella. But one of the things with it is the podcast room are now really, really busy. Yeah. So obviously we don't get anywhere near as many slots here as we would like to be able to. And we haven't got our own studio just yet. I'm in the process of trying to buy somewhere and then we're going to build our own studio. And when we do, the Joey and Josh podcast will be coming to you. I actually need to have a little chat with you about a possibility of this off camera later on. But anyway,
it's exciting.
That is why you haven't got the Joey and Josh podcast just yet. But let's be honest, we talk a fair bit of shit on this one too. And we're going to answer some of the questions in a second. Now, what I do want to say is I've had a little look on Squawka, by the way, and
I love that you've used the comparison matrix.
I've used the comparison matrix.
On goalkeepers.
On Jorgensen and Sanchez per 90. Yeah. And I've used the Conference League for Jorgensen, obviously, and the Premier League for Robert Sanchez. Save percentage. Now, this is the thing, right? Robert Sanchez's save percentage is far superior to Jorgensen's 77% as opposed to Jorgensen's 50%. But the reason why stats can be misleading is why would a save percentage be lower for Jorgensen?
Because he doesn't get any shots on him.
Doesn't get anywhere near as many shots on him because the quality of the opposition he's coming up against. They're not having as many shots against us.
I think the eye test, you can see Jorgensen is very good at saves. He really is.
Open play passes completed, Jorgensen far superior. Yeah. Now I'll tell you this one, and this is, for me, the most key of all the stats. Passing accuracy.
So interesting. Tell me. I don't know the answer to this.
Robert Sanchez, 74.47%. Yeah. Now, actually, I had a look in comparison to other goalkeepers.
Is that quite high?
It's probably top 25%, top 30% of goalkeepers. So it's above average. It's 7 out of 10 territory. Yeah? Okay. Passing accuracy for Jorgensen is 93.5%.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's mad. That's really high.
That is really high.
Talking top 5% of goalkeepers, that is.
Yep.
And Jorgensen isn't playing the simple passes either, by the way. He does. Do you know the pass that we do most common as a group? Chelsea will do the pass where rather than going to the centre back, it will go to the full back or the winger on the wing. And Jorgensen in the Conference League, maybe there's less pressure on, so this is a bit of a moot point. But he always does connect with those passes.
Yep.
Whereas when you watch Sanchez, and he did this, I would say at least 4 times against Newcastle, and that's not being hyperbolic. That's being literal. I think he slapped it over the top of the wingers 4 times in that game. I really do. So, for me, mate, I don't know why we're even really having this debate anymore. I think it's quite clear. We brought Jorgensen in. He is going to be the goalkeeper for the time being until Mike Penders comes in, because you're a big fan of Mike Penders.
I've not watched anything. Is he any good?
Apparently so. Apparently he's very good.
Yeah.
So he's the well, they're saying he's the new Courtois. He's the Courtois regen. Do you know the term regen?
Regen, yeah.
Yeah, new gen or regen.
Next gen, Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah, there you go. Did he deserve that?
What?
Being called the next gen?
I actually really, really like Chris Eubank Jr. I started off his career not liking him, and now I really like him. Yeah. We're going to do the Q&A, and we've got about 12 minutes left of the video. Before we get into it, and while I look at some of these questions that I want to ask, I want you to just give me your thoughts on a certain striker who, listen, we just rewind a year ago. Well, not even that. 6 months ago. 6 months. No. 6 months ago. But Mark Yu has missed an open goal this season too. But, you know, he misses open goals. He's clumsy. He doesn't know what he's doing. Don't ever compare him to Didier Drogba. He's awful. No one even knows him. You signed him off the back of 10 good games at Villarreal, and is he even any good? And surely he shouldn't be leading the line for Chelsea. Well, he's got 14 goal involvements in his last 14 games. Nicholas Jackson. Josh, can you just tell me a little bit about a man called Nicholas Jackson?
Well, you know, talk about a word that we like to use on this podcast, castigated. He's a man that was absolutely castigated.
Castrated.
And he was castrated as well, apparently, according to Joey. But you have to say, he was a man that was much maligned. And we were sat, Joey and I, on several podcasts last season, the kickoff being one. And I think people were laughing at us sometimes because we did back Nicholas Jackson and we said that this guy was good enough and that he wasn't just a winger and that he could score goals and that, you know, really his chance conversion stats were comparable to some of the best players in the league. And a lot of those people laughed at us because they looked at the highlights, they saw him falling over a couple of times and they thought that he was Bambi on ice and that he wasn't ready to be in the Premier League. But the stats don't lie. And Nicholas Jackson does deserve some praise. And I think we, as Chelsea fans, deserve to give that to him because he has been exceptional. Now, Joey's done a video recently where he has said that Nicholas Jackson is in the top 3 Premier League strikers at the moment and that really the only player that can compete or compare to him is Erling Haaland. And I find that really interesting because really we know the answer here, that Nicholas Jackson is actually better than Erling Haaland. Because Erling Haaland is playing in a free-flowing Manchester City team under Pep Guardiola at the very top of the Premier League. And really, his chances that he scores are pretty easy chances. Whereas Nicholas Jackson, he has to do a bit of hard work sometimes. He has to hold the ball up. And it's funny, I was sat in the East Upper yesterday and I was watching Nicholas Jackson control a ball on his chest in a way that I don't think I've seen since Diego Costa graced the beautiful kits.
Honestly, I've never seen a man be able to take the ball on a turn as good as Nicholas Jackson.
I've not seen a man that could hold on to the ball as well as Nicholas Jackson does under pressure. Bearing in mind, in the game that he was playing in against Newcastle, he was being man-marked by Dan Burn. The guy is one of the tallest, biggest blokes I have ever seen on the football pitch, and that is not exaggerating. He is over 2 meters tall.
And a lot of people are surprised that Dan Burn's never been nominated for a Ballon d'Or.
I mean, he kept Erling Haaland quiet.
He kept Erling, but he didn't keep Nicholas Jackson
He didn't
quiet.
keep Nicholas Jackson quiet. But you have to say, the all-round play of this guy, we had a look at the stats, and now it's 40 starts that Nicholas Jackson has had at Chelsea Football Club since he's come in. And he's got 28 goal involvements in that time.
Pretty good.
It's not a bad return. And I remember you in your video, Joe, you were talking about Watkins and Isak. And I don't really think there's anyone else that is anywhere even near Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't make an argument, but I'm saying that you can't disrule my argument that behind Erling Haaland, Nicholas Jackson at the minute is the second best striker in the Premier League.
I think you have to say that it is.
Look at the link-up play.
Yeah.
And unlike, like, you know, like you get a player like Gabby Jesus who apparently hasn't scored a goal in his last 22 matches or something like that.
Shit.
But then people go, oh yeah, but it's the link-up play. No. Just have a look at Nicholas Jackson. Because look at the link-up play. Look at the play that Nicholas Jackson does with the boys around him. And then look at his numbers. And then come back to me with your Gabby Jesus shit. Anyway, speaking of shit, let's talk some shit now.
Okay,
because the final 10 minutes or so. Q-Boy 131.
Great name. All right, Q-Boy.
I want to know how Joshua Veste wines and dines a woman.
Well, the answer's pretty clear, isn't it? And look, you always say, I'm the smooth operator here.
Yeah.
You're the one that goes to Nando's and, you know, does the cheap dates.
Have you never took a bird to Nando's?
Would you go hot, peri hot wings?
No.
Would you go for the serious spice? You don't want to take a girl to Nando's and have the hot sauce.
So you've got to think, I've not dated in years and years, but I used to take them. So I live in Epsom and I used to take them Surbiton because it's like 10 minutes in the car, but it's far enough out the area that you're not really going to see anyone. And I used to take them to a place called Bosco's, which back in my day was Cougar Club. It's where all the old divorced women went to meet young men.
Oh, I love
But I weren't dating.
Oh, you weren't dating the old divorced women?
No.
Oh, maybe you should have.
I was on just normal.
Maybe you could have learned some things
normal
from
age
an older
girls.
woman, you know.
But yeah, I used to just take them for a drink and then be like, oh, you know, what you want to? Travelodge around the corner.
You never did dinner.
I do dinner. Yeah, I do dinner.
You only did drinks.
Do dinner sometimes. I take them for a bit of grub sometimes. Yeah. To be honest, do you want all honesty? What I
do want all honesty.
I used to just be like, do you want to come around and watch Titanic? And you think I'm bantering. I'm not even bantering.
That's poor form.
Why?
You got to do more than that.
I don't think it is poor form when you understand what was going on when I was watching Titanic. Listen, Jack
Did you ever make it to the end
Jack
of the
and
film?
Rose might have been cold, but I was getting hot and heavy.
Well, look, Joey's technique is one technique, and you know what? It works.
Yeah.
So who cares?
But how
would I do it?
How...
So let me give my actual advice here. Most people are going to meet each other now on online dating. Let's be honest. They'll be via an app. If I was going to suggest an app, not sponsored at all here, but I would recommend Hinge. Hinge is a very good app.
Why? What is the difference?
Well, Hinge is, one of those ones you can write a bit more of a title. You can actually do voice notes now on Hinge, so you could actually leave someone a voice note before they've even met you, and you could tell them a little bit about you. You'd be great at doing the voice notes, Sherry.
Yeah.
In fact, I kind of want to hear your attempted voice note as if you were single to try and sell yourself now.
You want it now?
Well, if you want to do it now, we can do it now.
All right. Okay. Hello, babe. You all right to send over a few nudes just so I can see if I'm interested or not?
That probably wouldn't work.
No?
No, that probably wouldn't work. No.
I thought you got to be up front for women. I thought that's what
You've
they
got
like.
to be up front, but perhaps leading with the nudes is not a good way of starting.
Okay, can I go again?
Yeah.
Hello, babe. You all right to send over a few underwear pics just so I can test it out?
So look, my very quick answer would be, obviously enjoy Hinge. Start having conversations with girls. Have a lot of conversations. Have as many as you can. Once you've found someone that you really like, go onto a phone call before you've ever met them. Have a phone conversation. Make it an hour long. Try and get to know them. Because then, you know if you're going to get on with them in a date or not. And then you've already had the awkward conversations. And you know what? You might not like them after an hour. So always have a phone call before. Then always do either an activity date or try and do dinner. Every other bloke out there will take them for drinks. Never do that. Do an activity. Do mini golf. Mini golf's fun.
I've got a bad story of an activity date, right? Do you remember when air hop first came about?
Yes.
And like the UK followed the American trend of like trampoline parks. So I took this bird, to air hop in Guildford and didn't even think about it, mate. Jumping on trampolines, within like 2 minutes, I'm sweating my fucking bollocks off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm talking about a more casual activity.
Yeah.
A bit of mini golf, a bit of fun like that. Maybe darts.
Was never a fan of cinema when I was younger.
No, don't do cinema because you can't talk to them.
And I've got ADHD. It don't work. Yeah. Here you go. This is a really good one, right? Elbrecht 18.
Right. Elbrecht.
Which Chelsea player would you let date your sister?
To be fair, in the past, a few have reached out.
Really?
No, I'm joking. Who would I let date my sister? I think you've got to try and find the most responsible one.
Can I just say, definitely not Nicholas Jackson.
No, definitely not Nicholas Jackson, no. Should we rule out a few?
Okay, I'll rule out Jackson. I'll rule out Chilwell. I'll rule out... who would I rule out?
I think you honestly do go for like a Colwell.
I think... No.
Colwell or a Reece.
Colwell, because he's good looking.
No, but Colwell would have respect.
He would have respect. Reece
would be a good one.
Reece.
I'm looking at the leaders in the team.
Yeah. Palmer?
Yeah, well, yeah. Palmer would be all right, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He's harmless.
Yeah.
I rate him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not too bad.
But you know my real answer, though.
Yeah, Mykhailo Mudryk, of course. Yeah, and then you'd be drilling little holes in your sister's bedroom to have a little look through.
Wait a second, right. Now that we've mentioned his name, we'll go on to a question in a second, but can you allow me 60 seconds to just absolutely laugh in your face?
Go. Why?
Mykhailo Mudryk is he's decent.
And I've always said he's decent.
He came on against Newcastle and looked decent. Mate, 2 assists and a goal. How do you feel? Are you gutted about it? Because
Of course I'm not gutted. I've always wanted him to do well.
Because you wanted to sell him. You were ready to let him go.
Yeah.
You gave up on him too easily. Why did you do that?
Do you want to know the truth?
Go on.
I still probably sell him. If the bid was right, doesn't mean I don't rate what he's been doing. I think he's been doing well.
There's a chance he gets in the team. In the A team.
Small chance.
Just want to say for everyone in the comments, please do hold Joey to this to make sure that he knows how good Mikhailo Mudryk is. Thank you very much.
Do you think this is from Liam M_F. Do you think True Geordie lets his personal feelings cloud his opinions on your fights, mate? Well, I think there's a very clear and obvious answer to that one. Yes. And would we have it any other way? No, we wouldn't, because Brian is the fucking daddy.
I'll say this one thing, right? If your best friend was anywhere near the ring, like regardless of if he was doing commentary or whatever, would you not want your best friend to back you?
Mate, listen, if that was my best friend, I wouldn't be giving a biased commentary. I'd be getting in there and smashing fuck out of the fella. Do you know what I mean?
It's so
there
true.
You go.
It's so true.
While we're on the boxing, someone's quickly asked, would you rather rematch Cray or fight Yuddy Gang? I'd rather fight Yuddy Gang, to be honest. I'd rematch Cray if it was for a title, or if Mams offered it to me and it was good money and whatnot. But let's be honest, Cray will do the exact same thing he done the first time, and I'm not digging him out. Respect to him. No, respect to him. You formulated a good game plan and you won. But for me, yeah, boxing's a job. Yeah, it pays the bills. But I fucking love to fight, mate. And if you ain't going to come and fight and stand in a pocket and fight with me, you are well within your right to do so. You're going to go on and earn a big payday off the back of doing it. And I do have lots of respect for you. And I think you're a very good person. But at the same time, would I entertain a rematch if it was just a thing of like, oh, you can rematch and it's not for a title or anything like that? No, probably not, because fucking boring fight the first time round, and I know it weren't boring because on my behalf, but you beat me fair and square, so I'm not going to complain about it.
And if you haven't watched the video, there is a brand new video on the Joey Knight Boxing channel in which Joey breaks down the fight in a granular detail, and you actually do show the fight footage, which is not on YouTube at all at the moment.
There you go.
So that's your place to watch it. So go and watch that.
Big up the guys.
Very good video.
Big up the guys at The Zone for allowing us to do that. That was a big favour they've given to us. I don't know if you want me to ask this one, but it's on there. Is there any reason why Josh doesn't drink? Obviously, just to give it a bit of context for those who are new or don't know, Josh does not drink alcohol. When I am pissed, I would never know that he's not pissed, because he gets that. It's like he must get the placebo effect off me, and I feel like he's pissed. We're talking loads of shit together, and it can get raunchy.
Oh, it can get raunchy.
Topics of conversation. It's mad.
Not just the topics of conversation.
Not even just that, but some of the maddest conversations we've had are out in Saudi Arabia, where it's obviously a dry country. We don't drink any alcohol over there. And my God, if you was a fly on the wall and heard those conversations, you'd think we was about 8 or 9 pints deep, wouldn't you?
I think we're about 10 or 11 years old, some of the conversations.
Yeah, no, we are well immature, us lot, aren't we?
Well, to be fair, right, I remember going to a few house parties when I was, 14, 15, and seeing a few Joey Knight sort of characters there. You know, a few lads developed a little bit earlier, probably a little bit more up for a scrap.
Developed a little bit earlier. I'm fucking 30 with no facial hair.
No pubes.
Yeah. I've only got 3 and I piss out of one of them.
And I remember saying, do you know what? I don't want to be pissed up all the time. I want to keep my wits about me. So that was the main reason, I'd say.
Okay, good.
But, we have fun without it. You don't need booze all the time.
What were your Ethan_ball9? What were your first cars? I'll answer first.
Go on, yeah, please do.
See if you can guess it.
A Seat Ibiza.
No, but it was a very typical one for someone like me at that age. Black Vauxhall Corsa.
Oh yes,
driving round. I had the spoiler on the back. I had the rims, all that shit.
Sake. Did you put that on yourself?
Did I what?
Did you put that on yourself?
No, I bought it like that, but
oh, did you?
Yeah, the women seem to love it. not.
That was the days.
The thing is, I drove it for 6 years. So when I was 17, it was kind of cool. But when I was 23, going and picking up birds in it, it was a bit like,
What's going
get
on?
out. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
You were still
What was
doing the
yours?
handbrake turn at that time,
Yeah.
yeah.
What was yours?
I had a black Fiat Punto.
Okay,
Which was
nice.
an absolute dream. My friends used to take the piss out of me, mate, because I put Optimax petrol in my my Fiat Punto. You know, the sort of expensive petrol.
We've had a message come in from Most Wanted.
Oh,
Yeah.
go on.
How did you get your cheekbones like that? Do you know
They
what
are impressive.
They are impressive.
A lot of people pay a lot of money to get cheek filler to get cheekbones like that.
Have I told you about the modelling thing?
No, go on.
Oh, I've been offered to do a modelling shoot for a
For Playboy.
company that I won't name right now, but they was big back in the day, and they're making a resurgence.
This sounds exciting.
I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah, I don't know the answer.
Yeah,
So that would be
but people have
fascinating.
said about me doing modelling before, but I think I'm too short, and 5'7" is
Doesn't matter,
pretty
mate.
short.
In
for-
pictures, no one can tell the difference, can
But
they?
yeah, when I'm on a weight cut, it's like, oh, is he a model or is he a crackhead? Do you know what I mean? Because it's like the cheekbones are cheeky.
Have they always been like that, or is that a thing that the boxing has resulted, in some more defined cheeks?
No, I've always had a strong jawline and defined cheekbones.
Some people are born with it, You just can't be blessed with those genetics, That's why he gets the sort of the 9 out of 10 looks. That's why, when the girls say, they say 9.5.
Yeah. Who are your top 5 favourite influencers? Well, it's too hard for me to just be naming top 5, but should we just shout out a few influencers we like?
YouTube channels.
Anything, anyone like in the game.
I love so many YouTube. All I watch is YouTube. So yeah, let's go. Go on, chuck a few YouTube channels that you watch.
I'll give you a few.
I'm going to go on my YouTube as you're doing it now.
Okay. Well, obviously all the Chelsea boys. We like George Benson. We like
Love him.
like all the
Eunice.
I think Eunice. Yeah.
I like Blue Lions TV
Yannick,
personally.
you like Blue Lions TV. Matisse.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I don't want to leave Chelsea Fan TV. I don't want to leave
TV, yeah.
anyone out. You see Thingy at the game the other day, didn't you?
Sophie Rose.
Sophie Rose.
Yeah, you love her, yeah.
Yep, I love her deeply. But apart from like obvious people like that and like people that we work with, Joel Bayer, shout out, HP, apart from people like that we've worked with and we do stuff with and whatever, the more random ones, and this one isn't random.
Go on.
Lawrence Alswecki, my boy Loza, I
Yes.
absolutely fucking love that
Loza.
man. Give you another one. Speaking of Geordies, Cam Kirkham. Now,
Yeah.
if you want, just YouTube videos that are just a lot of them are like just related around, what do they call it, like pop culture or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Pop culture. But he also does done a video I watched last night on Sun, Sex and Suspicious
he?
Parents.
I haven't seen that.
And do you know what the funny thing is? Yeah, either me and Cam really think alike, or he saw it because I was watching one of his videos, and I'm not really a commenter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I commented saying you should do Sun, Sex and Suspicious
did it.
Parents, and then he done it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop him a message later and say that was me, by the way. But yeah, Cam's a legend. Cam Kirkham. He's actually, in terms of like non-sport related ones, he's probably, apart from Brian, my favourite to watch.
Fair enough.
Yeah?
Yeah, I rate him as well. Great channel.
Any else you want to shout out?
There's loads, yeah. So basically, I love watching sort of like ex-gym bros that are now doing sort of lifestyle content. I love the travel videos and things like that. So, Mike Thurston, have you ever watched Mike Thurston? He's got a podcast.
Is he the guy that had the hair transplant?
Absolute massive guy. He had a hair transplant.
Yeah.
He's got his own podcast. He has a brilliant YouTube channel where basically travels the world, talks to loads of girls, eats loads of good food, goes to nice Airbnbs. He's absolutely brilliant. He had a cameraman called Louis Armstrong, who I also really rate as well. He's living in Marbella and Ibiza. He's living the high life. Basically, I live vicariously through these guys because I'd quite like to live in Spain as well. Thomas Moore is another YouTuber that I've worked with as well, but I also really like his channel. He's more of like he's called TM Cycles. Used to do a load of steroids. Now he's off that, doing like things like high rocks and triathlons. And I really like the way that he does his content as well. Unfortunately, he's an Arsenal fan, but we forgive him for that.
Froch on fighting. Carl Froch.
Yeah, Carl Froch. I mean, we can't really shout him out because he's a massive influencer. He's a massive celebrity. He's not really an influencer, is he?
Yeah, but he's a YouTuber.
He is a YouTuber.
And
now.
I reckon he's probably his bread and butter.
Do you know what you've got to love about him, mate? Is that he's a boxer that's turned into a poker connoisseur. So you're very
Yeah.
soon. And everyone in the comments needs to push Joey to do this. He needs to learn how to play poker because Brian and I are going to play some poker with him.
We've got some big stuff.
I think you're
in the
going to enjoy
pipeline.
that. Bit
Do you
of
know
poker.
what? I am so excited for everything we've got coming up. Me, you, Brian, all of the boys. We got so much cool shit coming up.
We have.
If you could move to one country, where
Yeah.
would you move to?
It's interesting. I think I would have said somewhere like back in there, we probably would have said Australia. Would have liked to have lived there for a while. Probably would have liked to have lived in LA for a while.
G'day, mate.
Good day, mate. But I think
All right, let's.
As I get
sorry
older-
to interrupt
Go
you.
on.
Let's see what an in-betweeners fan you are. Yeah.
on.
What is Jay's name on his Australian driving license?
Mitch.
No, it's. What is his name? Something Clements.
Was it not Mitch?
No,
Oh, fuck.
it's Saint Clements.
I was
and he-
going to watch that film the other
and he-
night. But I didn't
and
watch
he goes, date of birth. He goes 1985.
it. Yeah.
You betcha, cobber.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
What a film that was.
Yeah. No, that
loved
was
it.
in the TV show.
No, when he was in Australia.
No, that was the Australian driving license in the pub when they had
I
to
thought
have.
you were talking about the movie.
Yeah,
When he was in Australia.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna cap it off on that, mate. But
Where would you want to live? I want to know where you'd want to live before you go. Any other country?
ideally Thailand.
Yeah,
But then, other than that, you know my spot.
Nashville.
No, the Reef, Tenerife.
Do you live there?
I love Tenerife. Tenerife's my favourite place.
Really? You'd live there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to do 2 more shout outs. Barbados, absolutely love. There are some Bajans in the comments.
Mm.
That's the demonym of Barbados.
Yep.
There you go. That's a new word for you. And Italy, I'd love to live in as well.
Oh, Miss Guzzi.
Miss Cuisine, man.
There you
Pizza
go.
pasta.
Next video is going to be dropping tomorrow, and it is going to be the Chelsea against Newcastle preview. I'm just going to upload that same video from the other day when we played them. No, joking. We're playing them in the cup, and I tell you what, believe you me, being that we do have an A string and a B string side, there are 100% a lot more talking points to go about
This is
during
getting
this game.
serious.
So this is getting serious now, and you're not just going to get the same sort of video as you got for the preview last week, because it's going to be a completely different
We're going to
entire
argue about this.
starting 11.
I'm a bit worried. I
And
think we might fall out.
I've already well, we always do fall out.
Yeah.
There you go. And I've seen the
Should call it
team
the fallout.
sheets. I've seen the team sheets, and to say we disagree could even be an understatement. So make sure you are locked in for that one. We love you all very, very much. And to show you love us, hit the subscribe button if you're part of the 40-50% that aren't already. Smash the like button. Head over to Josh's channel, linked in the description, and make sure you subscribe to that one. And I will see you all in the next one.